MFA updates.
Good morning สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to MFA Update, a weekly program that features Thailand's foreign affairs and activities. You're here with me, Nishaka Phumi. Today, we invited His Excellency Boon-Long, former ambassador of Thailand to Norway, to discuss medical diplomacy. Let's hear from more details.
The foreign affairs that matter. Special guests from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is the MFA Updates.
Good morning, His Excellency. Welcome to the program today.
Yes, good morning, Nishapa.
First of all, I would like to start with the idea of medical diplomacy because it might be very new to some people. So could you please share with us what medical diplomacy is exactly and when this idea started?
Well, first of all, I just want to make sure that people understand that medical diplomacy is not medical tourism. It's not something to do with medical tourism, or it's not something to do with the wellness or spa, thing like that. Medical diplomacy is the way in which diplomacy could be used in promoting or enhancing cooperation in medical fields, which will create a spillover effect to the bilateral relation between the two countries. Mm-hmm. For the question when it started, I really don't know because for my experience, I don't know whether anyone has been promoting medical diplomacy, but I'm the one that promote this, initiate this medical diplomacy since I served as an ambassador in Israel. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you later about when we're talking about the example of this medical diplomacy.
All right.
But there's two ways of this medical diplomacy. To put it simply, is one is outside in. Outside in is mean that we bring in the medical know-how or medical innovation from the country with advanced medical fields. Let's say a country in Europe, in the US or Japan, and bring it into our medical university hospital or hospital in Thailand. So our doctor could do more or could do better in taking care of the patient. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying that the Thai doctor is not good, but I have to stress that the Thai doctor is the best in their professional in their field. But sometimes you have to accept that there are also advanced practice or innovation on medical treatment that maybe you could learn more or you can apply.
Yeah.
So another way of doing this is inside out. We're talking about outside in, bring in expert to Thailand. Inside out, in the opposite. We export our medical agent or medical expert or doctor to train the doctor or student at the medical university hospital in neighboring countries or in any country in need, so they can do more or do better in helping their people. We also could provide medical care to the local people in our neighboring country as well. It can be dental treatment. It can be ENT, ear, nose, and throat treatment. It can be cataract eye treatment or cleft lip and palate operation. So this is something that we can provide to our neighboring country in terms of inside out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. It's very interesting. And I have the further question. Does Thailand have the so-called medical diplomacy agreement with any country? And who can benefit from the medical diplomacy?
I don't think that we have the officials medical diplomacy agreement with any country, mm-hmm. as far as I know. But when you start to do some kind of this kind of cooperations they will have MOU signed between medical institutions to serve as a framework in doing this medical cooperation between the two institutes or two countries. And as for those who benefit from medical diplomacy, first and foremost is the people. It's the Thai people or the people in our neighboring country who could receive better treatment from the doctors. And then the medical student at the university hospital or the doctor themselves who will learn more, who will learn advanced innovation in their area of expertise when they receive the transfer of know-how from other countries. And then last but not least is the country itself. Because when you have medical diplomacy, this medical diplomacy cooperation will have a spillover effect to the bilateral relations of the countries. So this will in the end, both countries will also their relationship will be enhanced and the cooperation will get closer and closer through medical diplomacy.
I see. And can you please give us some examples of medical diplomacy that can be seen in our daily lives? Like, are there any particular countries on your mind?
I can cite the example of the medical diplomacy project that I have done in the past.
Yes.
First, when I was ambassador, I served in Israel. I promote and create this medical diplomacy cooperation between Rambam Hospital in Israel and Phra Mongkut Kau Hospital, the army under the Army Medical Department. And this is a cooperation under the so-called trauma management. Trauma management is Israel is the best in the world, and I happen to learn that a lot of people, a doctor, come to Israel to be trained on trauma management. So I bring in the expert from Israel to train our Thai doctor at Mongkut Kau Hospital. Then when I serve as ambassador in Norway, I also bring in the expert from Norwegian Institute of Maritime Medicine to train our naval doctor, our doctor as Naval Hospital, Somdet Phra Pin Kau Hospital. This is under the Naval Medical Department. So they will learn more on the treatment under the so-called maritime medicine. And also vice versa, a Norwegian expert learn more from the Thai doctor on the so-called underwater medicine. This is something technical, but when you try to promote this medical cooperation, medical diplomacy, then both doctors will benefit from this. And the one that should be the most successful one is that I bring in a doctor expert from university hospital in Oslo in Norway, and to share the advanced method with the doctor at Chulalongkorn University Hospital. And this is something that's called organs transplant cross blood group. Usually they can do only organ transplant between the same blood group. The donor and the recipient have to have same blood group. But with the new technology and new method from Oslo, from Norway, they can do a cross blood group. And the lady who the first recipient of this organ transplant cross blood group, they have been waiting for many months, and then now she can receive organ from the donor who has different blood group from her.
And finally, what do you think about the future plan of the medical diplomacy in Thailand?
Well, I think it depends on a lot of things. First of all, it depends whether the government would like to pursue this medical diplomacy, whether the government see whether it will be benefit a country, benefit the people, and would like to support and give a budget and back up this project. And then also Ministry of Foreign Affairs have to accept that this is a good project and put it in the high priority and also put it in the political strategy or country strategy for the country. Let's say if you think that Japan or you think that Norway or you think that Israel has a medical know-how, medical expert, this is have to put into country strategy for our ambassador to pursue. Then the most important thing is that the ambassador themselves, they have to work on it, and they have to have a passion to do this medical diplomacy thing, because this is something out of their comfort zone. This is something new for them. So they have to try to do, if they think that this will benefit a country, benefit the people, and this is something that we can use diplomacy, our diplomatic skill at work in serving the Thai people and the country.
Thank you for your information. I learned many things today, and I think our listeners do too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And that was His Excellency Jukr Boon-Long, former Ambassador of Thailand to Norway. To listen to our previous episodes of the MFA Update, don't forget to follow the YouTube channel MFA Thailand as well as our Facebook page FM88 Radio Thailand English. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. I am Nishaka Phumi. สวัสดีค่ะ
MFA Updates